J Bills for me to Spotlight UK, reunited with my man Fes Batista, the Lady Gaga inspiration, everything that's going on with you. Lady Gaga inspo in the building. How you feeling, my brother?
I feel good. Yeah, I always say I'm inspired by Lady Gaga because look, all the cool stuff, funny stuff aside, at the end of the day, that woman saved my life, man, and I'm always going to represent. So I'm a little monster for life. So I don't care where I am in the world or what I'm doing. I'm always proud to be a little monster. So I always flaunt it wherever I can.
Well, I mean, yesterday's open workout, I mean, you certainly made an entrance. You certainly made a statement. The Transformers that came in, everyone like cheering on for you and everything else. I thought, yo, like, to a fault, I've seen it all until yesterday. Like, what was the inspiration to getting that? Because obviously, this is your first time you debut, so I guess you wanted to make a statement on that, right?
Well, you know, I've been a big fan of Misfits, and Mams Taylor, look, Mams Taylor has said several times, first impressions count, and he said that several times throughout his, you know, the Misfits different fights. So I thought to myself, let's do something creative, let's do something that's not been done before, let's do something outrageous. I mean, my personality also is a little bit outrageous and quirky anyway, so I thought, let's put a little bit of my personality on it, and bring out the glasses, bring out the razzmatazz, and put on a show. At the end of the day, this is sports entertainment. We have to entertain the fans, and everyone's going to do a little bit of a workout. That's fine. You know you're going to get that. But what can we do to maximize that 15 minutes to something, to get people talking? And I believe we achieved that. I believe we got lots of people talking. So that was the aim. Just taking the advice from Mams Taylor, you know.
Something I've learned about you, like in terms of your charisma that you're bringing out, because it seems like you're a bit of a WWE fan, because you brought up a little bit of Ric Flair, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. You know, I've been a fan since like the early 2000s, so I know what the wrestling. Did you watch a bit of WWE back in the day?
Yeah, I was a massive Kane fan, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and you know,
back Attitude Era.
Back in the day, you know, I got into a little fight when I was a kid, and I accidentally Batista bombed someone.
Really?
Yeah, and my dad looks a little bit like Dave Batista, and my dad had the line before.
Is that the inspo for, like, you know, you being Fes Batista? Was it based off Batista as a WWE?
Back then, yeah. I was like 12 or 13 years old, and they kept calling me Batista from high school, and it was just Batista, and then they put the Fes was short for Fessel, which is my last name, legal last name is Fessel. So Fes was always there, and Fes and then Batista, and by the time, yeah, about 16, 17, it was just Fes Batista. So when I signed a legal document, I have to put Mohammed Faisal. I have to think for a second, like, Mohammed, who's Mohammed?
Because you're getting so used to being Fes Batista, you're thinking if you're signing documents, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's like when I have to sign an autograph, that's different. I have to put Fes Batista. I also have to think like that as well. But when it's Mohammed Faisal, I'm like, Mohammed. Oh, yeah, that's me. So it's like, it's good because, honestly, like, throughout my life, I've had a few different, how do I say, situations. It's almost like Lady Gaga mentions many times about life. You can, you know, be born again within this life. You can reinvent yourself and stuff like that. And obviously I had a very traumatic situation at university, and you know, that song Marry the Night saved my life, and I'm very, you know, open about that. And Gaga says there, she said to the nurse, she was crying in the hospital bed, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a star because I have nothing left to lose. And I saw that with a knife to my wrist at university when I was being bullied so bad.
I remember we talked about it last time.
So it's like reinventing. I feel like Fes Batista is like the star deep down inside. But I feel like I'm Mohammed Faisal. I've kind of been running away from that person. And I'm on a journey to try and find that person as well. But it's quite deep. So there's a lot of things that I have to work on myself, but Fes Batista is somebody that I look up to, who's somebody that I deep down always wanted to be, and it's like, yeah, it's these two different people inside me, and yeah, it gets quite deep, it gets a lot, it gets heavy, but you know, I'm enjoying this opportunity. I'm enjoying learning more about this Fes Batista, and I hope Mohammed Faisal can come and enjoy the ride as well. But
because I was going to ask, like, how much of Fes Batista is within your real name? Like, how much of like the persona is part of you? How much is there?
How much is Mohammed Faisal?
Yeah, how much is Mohammed Faisal in Fes Batista? Like, you know, how much is it in comparison?
Mohammed Faisal is like a shy, insecure guy, very nervous, that kind of stuff, and deep down wants to be cool, but knows for a fact he never will. But then you got Fes Batista, who has fans in Las Vegas, fans in Brazil, does boxing, fights, works for KSI, and you know, has the razzmatazz and has this natural star power, and it's just like They're different. They're different. Deep down, when the lights are off, I'm all alone. Sometimes Fes Batista goes, and I go back to that insecure boy from Huddersfield who's scared to look people in the eye. Sometimes it's just a bit. Yeah, it's about trying to help them to come together. Yeah, so there's a lot in my head that goes on. Yeah.
Well, knowing that Fes Batista is in the building right now, I mean, whoa, you know, the Ric Flair, woo! Yeah. Let's talk about your fight with Ben Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's building up. I mean, on the stage earlier, he ripped up your poster that you gave to him. I mean, what was that all about?
No, there was no need for that. Look, at the end of the day, he did his. He was dancing to Lady Gaga. I was very surprised. He was dancing to Lady Gaga on his open workout. So I thought, oh, okay, so he's come around to Lady Gaga because he was dissing Lady Gaga a lot. So no doubt he's done his research and he was dancing to Born This Way. So I was like, you know what? Here you go. I'm gonna show everyone that, you know, he's a Gaga fan. He's a little monster. Here's a poster. I kind of expected him to say, like, you know, thank you, cool, you know, and then maybe the best man win or something. And it kind of surprised me. It threw me off. He ripped it off into like 2 different pieces, that's just blatant disrespect. That's a personal. Again, it's quite personal. Why are you doing that? Like, there's no need for that. He could have just put it down and then maybe given it back or something. Instead, he ripped it up in front of everyone to see, and I think he's made himself look like an idiot.
But do you think, like, all of that sort of stuff in terms of him saying he doesn't like Lady Gaga and then ripping your poster, is that a way of trying to get into your head?
I don't know. I just think that's a personal dig. He knows my personal life. It's all over the internet. You can build a fight in other ways. You can mock my boxing ability or something, but going into someone's personal life, I believe, is a cheap shot. He didn't have to do that. That got me a little bit agitated, I'm not going to lie. I was very upset about that.
Because, I mean, even there was a video that I saw yesterday, I think it was Fred Talks Fighting video, where, you know, you've had this back and forth with Donna Corby as well. Like, you know, and I can't lie, like, I watched it. I had to watch it a few times. It was pretty entertaining back and forth. But, I mean, obviously, like, you know, it seems like that's going on too.
No, Donna Corby for a long time has been dropping these sarcastic little digs, constantly negative little digs. And it's just slowly been going on more and more and more and more. And I just thought, you know what? This guy, he was looking at me really strange. He was making nasty little comments. He was up on the balcony, and you know what? I just lost it. I just had to put him in his place. At the end of the day, I am a nice guy, but if you try to flex on me, you try to impose yourself and tell all your friends at Happy Punch that, yeah, just drop a nasty comment to Fez. And I know all the stuff he's been doing, so I'm not going to it's my first day working for the company. I get it. I am the new guy. However, I'm not going to let nobody impose themselves or try to bully me in any way. If I feel threatened, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to let them know. You're not going to walk all over me. I can fight. I also got a mouth. You know, all that bullying stuff, that was 10 years ago. It's not going to happen anymore.
Well, let's revert back to your fight with Ben Williams. Obviously, you would have seen him in his last 2 fights. Obviously, you know, 2 knockouts with 2 different opponents that he's had. So he hasn't had much in terms of, you know, what we can see from him in terms of that. But what do you make of Ben Williams as a fighter, as opposed to it being a person? And how do you think, like, the dynamics of the ring will be for this Saturday?
I think he's a bully. It's pathetic what he did in his last fight. Look, everyone knows in boxing, if you know as soon as the bell goes out, you know, after a few shots that you are miles ahead of the other guy, you just tone it down. You know you're guaranteed to win because the other guy was doing this. And he went there throwing bombs, trying to really break his ribs and try to hurt him. That could be somebody's father. That could be somebody's son. That's somebody's pride and joy. And he has to go home to his family getting demolished with no training against this guy who's trying to be Rambo or something. So you know what? I'm going to teach him a lesson on fight week, because when he comes to me like that, I'm going to have a lot of counter punches, a lot of power for him, because guess what? I've got more experience than him. So I believe he's going to get calmer, and that dish is going to be served with these 2 knuckle sandwiches right here.
Well, 2 final things from me. I mean, when we spoke last time, not looking past Ben, but you said that he was one potential of opponents that could be for the future, and it's actually materialized. But you've also said about, you know, future opponents. You said about, you know, Deen and Waleed could be of interest to you. A few other names that came up. Are they still of interest to you? Is there other names that have appeared, like, that you would like to face in the future, like since that time we spoke last?
Yeah, look, for me, I'm tall, I'm 5'11", and you know my best weight is about 145. So I'm right in between. I can go up to 55, or I can go down to 35. So yeah, still Deen and Waleed are very good boxers. I like Deen. I get along with Deen. I spoke to him. He's a lovely guy. He's a charismatic star. He's definitely a superstar in the making. Anyone who boxes him is gonna have fun. Then you got, you know, the other guys, 155. You got Jarvis.
I was going to ask about Jarvis because obviously he's the current champion. You know, he had that fight with Dave. I guess that's someone that you would want to look to as well.
Well, I was supposed to fight him. Mums Taylor was trying to make the fight for November, me versus Jarvis. Unfortunately, Jarvis rejected that fight because there was too much of an unknown factor about Fes. So he was like, look, I want to fight somebody that I know, and obviously knew more about B-Dave. He wanted to start off with a win. So hopefully I can get that Jarvis fight after I earn my stripes within Misfits. So I believe I have to earn my stripes. But Mums Taylor was trying his very best to get me versus Jarvis. So I would like that.
Do you think it will be a few more fights after your fight with Ben that you will get to more of those fights? Or is it a thing like, you know, it'll be this one and then to the next one? Like, how do you see it?
I need to be comfortable at this weight. My body is not. I had about 3 weeks for this fight. Look, at the end of the day, my uncle died the same day they called me for this fight, and I said no. Yes, thank you. May he rest in peace. My head was all over the place. Literally got cold. A week and a half. I was sick, so there was no training there. So I've just about had under 3 weeks for this fight. So I know my body, everything. I won't be feeling how I want to feel. So I would like to definitely have 1 or 2 more fights at 155. Just let my body get a full training camp in. Go back to Roy Jones, train properly with him in Florida, get an actual camp in, and then see how my body is at 155, and then see what we can do. Either we go up or we go down.
And finally, like, how's it been with Roy Jones? Like, you know, you've known him for a long time. Like, how's he doing at the moment?
He's doing good. He's over in Pensacola, Florida. He's got a few things going on, and you know, unfortunately, can't make this fight. But you know, I'll be there for the next camp, for the next fight. But he's given me a game plan. He's told me what to do against Ben, and he's guiding me. So I know what I'm going to be doing against Ben. And Roy is certainly still the head coach. He's still in control, overseeing everything, of course. But it's a bit frustrating. It feels strange doing a training camp in the UK. And I'm actually from here, so it's yeah, no.
Because you've been in Florida for so long. You've been in the States for so long. Like being in a foreign country, so it seems at this point, it's like, oh gosh, wow, I know it's home, but it's a bit weird for me.
Yeah, it's strange because, you know, over there, like, I become like a local there, so I get to know lots of people in Pensacola. My accent changes. I start talking a little bit like, honestly, my accent is, I'm so impressionable. My friends take the mick out of me when I come back to the UK. They're like, Fez, what on earth are you saying? That's not a gas station. That's a petrol station. And I'm like,
I bet those piss you off in terms of like trying to defend.
I'm sorry. I'm like, yo, guys.
I mean, what's gas? Like, you know, what you gassing into the car?
There's no gas. It's petrol. It's liquid. So
it's not air.
Who said gas? Like, it's just like, it makes me come across as crazy as well. Like, so now it's like I said to the guys, because I can't drive in the UK. It's the wrong side of the road. So I feel a bit, so when people are driving, I'm like, guys, can we go to the gas station? I want to get some sweets. And they're like, gas? Are you going to really? Oh, sorry. I mean, can we go to Shell petrol station rather than Circle K or 7-Eleven, you know? Yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best with your fight with Ben. I know that obviously you made a massive impression yesterday at the open workout with Transformers. I can only imagine what more will come in the future in terms of like what to expect. Because if the Transformers was one thing, I can only think there's going to be bigger and better from that.
That's right. We've got a very, very big entrance coming up, and I'm going to be the first fight on the DAZN part of the show. So. It's going to be a very special, very, I believe my entrance, you're going to see, it's going to have a global impact, and I promise you that. It's going to have a global impact. Watch that.
And finally, are we going to hear Lady Gaga on your ring walk?
110%. Yep.
You heard it from the man himself, Fes Batista, in the building with his fight against Ben Williams. Fez, I wish you all the best, and like I say, keep it up, and hope for the best in your career.
Thank you, brother.
Brother.
Appreciate you.